and welcome to Global Policy Forum's weekly vodcast. This week in global policy, the UN Security Council passed Resolution 1929 imposing new sanctions against Iran for its alleged nuclear weapons ambitions. The resolution passed with 12 affirmative votes, 2 dissenting votes from Brazil and Turkey, and an abstention from Lebanon. Speaking after the vote, Ambassador Mohammad Khazai of Iran highlighted the, quote, rampant double standards that politically motivated powerful countries impose on the weak. Ambassador Khazai recalled Iran's plight at the Security Council in 1951 and the series of systematic injustices committed against it by the hegemonic powers ever since. GPF has made the proceedings of this 1951 Security Council session available for public access on its website. In other UN news, the UN High-Level Task Force on Global Food Security met with members of civil society in Dublin, inviting input to the comprehensive framework for action against hunger. However, civil society organizations were not asked for their opinion until the main document had already been written. While international committees on food security continue to disagree on how to rebuild agricultural systems in the global south, the framework calls for the extension of the very practices that have caused critical food shortages in many countries. There is, however, a broad global consensus upon the urgent need for policy initiatives to address the world's hunger crisis and the danger of major food production shortfalls. In connection with this, GPF has added a new section to its website to provide commentary on the debate over global food security policy and how policymaking can be most effectively, democratically, and sustainably organized. You can find this new topic under the heading International Policy Process in our World Food and Hunger section. Also this week, Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon appointed Canadian Judge Kimberly Prost to serve as Ombudsperson for individuals placed on the Security Council sanctions list. Ms. Prost has served as an ad hoc judge for the Yugoslavia Tribunal since 2006, and her main task as Ombudsperson will be to carry out independent and impartial investigations into requests for delisting. On June 8, GPF interviewed Yvonne Terlingen, the former head of Amnesty International's UN office in New York, about the UN-targeted sanctions regime and the creation of the Ombudsperson. A podcast of this interview will be available on our website soon. In Uganda, as the International Criminal Court Review Conference comes to a close this week, the state parties to the Rome Statute of the ICC are deliberating over the inclusion of the crime of aggression into the court's jurisdiction. Not surprisingly, the permanent members of the UN Security Council are hindering attempts to empower the court with such jurisdiction over a crime which they have all committed in the past. Meanwhile, a new report released by Physicians for Human Rights accuses the Bush administration's terrorism interrogation program of human experimentation. This raises a new set of legal issues, since human experimentation without consent is in clear violation of international law. In particular, experimentation on detainees may constitute a war crime under the Nuremberg Code. Interestingly, the US Congress passed the Military Commissions Act in 2006, which weakened the language on illegal biological experiments contained in the predecessor law, suggesting that the administration was aware of such future possible charges. For insight and analysis on these issues and more, please visit our website at www.globalpolicy.org. You can also follow us on Twitter.